accidentally.
Well, what happened? What happened was I was done using the heat gun and I was packing things up, and I didn't realize that the nozzle would be hot, and it like
You burnt
swung
yourself on a
against
soldering
my
gun.
it swung against my arm and like
You
seared
burnt
me.
yourself on a
Ouch.
soldering gun.
It's not a soldering gun; it's a
That's-
heat gun.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, saying I burned myself accidentally is kind of like saying, you know, in the past when I was younger.
Oh.
Okay,
Because why would you?
Yes,
burn
you were
yourself
younger in the
on a
past.
soldering gun?
so
I mean, some people might do it on purpose. I don't know.
okay, so we are back once again for more of Star Wars: Darkest Dawn. And who is going to give us our recap for tonight?
That would be me, I believe, because I did notes. Okay. So it was season 1, episode 25, The Broken Chains on Lamu, part 2. Since we had been on Lamu, between the previous episode and this episode, both the kids went back to the ship to hang out there while the rest of us continued on. We made it to, let's see here, a little tunnel network and found some power conduits running along some walls. Realized that we were near an active volcano. Nasara was using the sensor pack to help guide us through that stuff, and picked up that there was some toxic gas, but not high enough to really do anything bad to us. We got to an open area where starfighters could land. There were multiple crates there. We were looking through the crates. One of them had some blaster rifles. But then all of a sudden, Nasara got a transmission from Merrick, and then heard some blaster fire on that end. And there was an explosion right behind us within the tunnel we had just walked through. And it was a cave-in caused by the Mandalorian, who had been after us and after Nasara in the past. And he was there with a guy in repurposed armor and then 4 others in black garb with blaster rifles. So combat ensued. Grenades were thrown. People were shot. People were lightsabered. All total, 3 of those assassins were killed. The guy in repurposed armor turned out to be an ex-Jedi. Drade recognized him as a Vekis Mar, but Drade was cut down by Vekis, but then Ashi rushed in and hit him twice with sabers. So he was taken out. He's super dead. Yeah. Let's see here. A few of us were knocked out, nearly killed, including Jarrus, Drade again with a lightsaber, and Montan was incapacitated. But we were saved by others. We got out of that fight, got back to the ship, and that is where we left off last episode.
Okay, and then there was obviously some banter back and forth on the ship, which took place between games.
Yeah.
So at this point, you guys have finished your flight. You have come back at this point, and landed, of course, back on the Pelagian Star, so the ship can go through whatever refueling, restocking, superficial damage that it may have sustained, and get all that repaired. You have been shuttled down planet side to Pelagon. So this is effectively, what did we say? It was like 3 days travel, was it?
It's like 2 or 3, I think.
Okay. So it's 3 days from that point and from that conversation. Obviously, Lord Tornar is going to be expecting a debrief. So I will let Nasara and Drade take that into consideration. It is, you know what? Let me get a die out.
Oh no.
I'm so happy. I will make this special.
Oh, hey,
A
we're
metal
missing
die.
your little robot.
Oh yeah. Would she even? Would she? Yeah, she probably fit on camera. I'll have to go get her. Hold on. All right, so it is currently 8 in the morning. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So, since Dred and Asara are expecting to be there with Lord Toronar for debrief, would they probably bring Dorn along due to his knowledge of the Empire?
Unlikely, honestly,
Yeah, probably not.
because we're dealing with House politics, House Massetti and their assassins and what have you, more than the Empire directly.
Okay, I figured to ask.
Yep.
Given the fact that it's become more and more obvious that the House is being fed information.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Game mascot.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
The little droid's going to be. I've got the clip now too. It's going to be a mascot when I start going out to cosplay too. Yes,
sweet.
Good.
yes, you are. You're going to be a mascot. How's that?
So cute. I've got to get my own.
So, Drade and Nasara, you guys are obviously going. Not everybody has to go to the estate at this point if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm your hope. Kind of in the way, sweet. Come on, hop down.
Ashi would go with Nestos to drop him off, and then she would probably leave.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So he goes into the estate with Merrick. Obviously, they've got classwork to catch up on. Yes, they do.
And also KP duty, I expect,
Probably
for the next 6 years.
Oh well, that's kind of harsh, but okay. But yeah. So obviously that is being taken care of at the estate. They're getting caught back up into class immediately, and the rest of you are presumed not to be on the estate unless for some reason you have indicated that you are.
No, Ashi's taking a break from everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, Dorn went off to go check around, like, if anyone else ended up, like, on the HoloNet or any wanted posters.
Gotcha. So we'll take care of that later, obviously. So Drade and Nasara, then you guys are at this point right outside of Ixal's office. And one of his security team opens the door when he, finally comes in. He's in a fashionable robe at this point, since it's first thing in the morning. Got just a sample shirt on, or not shirt, but like a tunic on underneath, and some basic house shoes. Nothing super glamorous at this point.
Not Ewok slippers.
No, not Ewok slippers. No. Ewoks quite haven't been discovered yet.
He's got the bear claw ones.
Right.
That would be Wookiees at this
Nexus slippers.
Racially insensitive to Wookiees.
point. Yeah, these would be Wookiee slippers made of real Wookiee.
Oh no.
So, but you guys are brought back in to the, to his office at this point. He throws his, puts the tie around his robe at this point, and he says, "So, I understand that there were complications, but I didn't get a full story.
Right. Well, we managed to arrive on the planet without issue. On the way there, we realized we had a couple of miniature stowaways on board. The boys, Nestos and Merrick, managed to get on without us knowing. But it turned out to actually be fortunate all around, I think. That being because of what we ran into on the planet, where we landed, started to explore, saw that there had been a firefight, but there weren't any bodies or anyone we could detect that were around. And no matter how much we tried to sense and detect, it seems like it was countered, because once we got to a type of landing bay, we were ambushed by the bounty hunter that had been after Nassar before, Carson Ardre. But this time, he managed to actually have a Jedi with him, along with who we found out later were 4 additional Massetti assassins. It was a difficult battle, to say the least, but one of the assassins, along with Carson, retreated. We were worse for wear, but we had defeated the rest of his forces along with the Jedi who was killed. After that, because of what had just happened, and we had found absolutely no one, it seems this entire operation was an ambush laid out for us specifically. They likely had time to dispose of the bodies in the nearby volcano, because everything was volcanically active in that area. Then we managed to escape. Fortunately, the boys themselves actually defended the ship. There were 2 other Massetti assassins who were apparently going to sabotage that while we were away from it, but they actually defended it. Beyond that, there's other details we can go over, but that's effectively what took place. We did retrieve a control panel for what seemed to be a comm system. Montan currently has possession of it. It may have some codes that the rebellion is using, so we have that. It didn't get into anybody else's hands.
So then, not a total loss. We kept potential sensitive information from being swiped, because they would have sold that if not used it for their own opportunities. I'll need to send this through to Fulcrum then, and let them know that there's a potential leak somewhere, passing on what appears to be credible information. But the problem, of course, is that the bounty hunter and his assassins clearly took out rebel assets for a reason. I don't know if it was specifically to target the group, although I'm inclined to agree. But it also means that somewhere down along the line, someone's information is slipping, and they're going to need to tighten that up. And I'm going to insist that before we take any additional action. So for the time being, consider your team off duty for right now. Get caught up with whatever it is that you need to get caught up with, then take some time off. Lay low again, obviously. I mean, this could have been... I don't think this is the case, but it operates the same. House Massetti has long since had a clandestine group within their house, similar to the Empire's ISB. So it wouldn't be surprising if, since they are so in the pocket of the Empire, that they tapped some of that information for their own benefit. And thank you again for the raid. A raid of 5 by Rolling Nomads.
Hey.
Thank you. But he says, as we discussed previously, there was probably going to be some complications when you were awarded the title of Knight within House Pelagia. That sort of put you on everyone's radar, and I think it was a matter of Carson Ardre putting two and two together when he first encountered your group and realized that there were assets in play, obviously, here within House Pelagia. I don't know to what extent or what information that they might have, but I intend on ferreting that out.
Have you ever known House Massetti to employ Jedi who've lost their way against other assets?
They have quite the history of utilizing the darker assets of what one might call the Force.
Well, all right. Explains that then.
It is one of the reasons why they came down so hard on the on House Pelagia when the Jedi Purge took place. I believe it was a long simmering revenge for the last. He thinks for a moment like the Sith War, I think, from the Old Republic. Some hatreds burn deep.
All right then. Speaking of that general topic, there was some talk on the way back on the ship, and I wanted to ask the Pelagian Guard, the group that Jairus is technically a part of and received training in. Do you know if any of them have any type of views that are against the Force or Jedi in general?
Well, officially, no one is supposed to be supporting Force users.
Granted.
Because either you're a part of this Imperial Inquisitor group or you're an enemy. To my knowledge, no. House Pelagia had long since been a supporter of the Jedi. That is ultimately what caused the Purge and caused House Pelagia's fall towards the ending of the Clone Wars.
All right then. I just asked since Jairus was very against receiving my assistance when I tried to help him with healing. He was one of the ones who took a lot of injury, myself included, but he was only willing to seek assistance from technological sources, it seems, not the Force. Have you ever known him to act that way?
To be perfectly honest, I don't know him that well. He comes from my aunt's side of the family, the Baroness Hussein. I suppose it's a possibility. But consider his stock in trade. He has been somebody who deals in the medical field quite extensively. That he may just be attempting to lean on what he knows. And for a lot of people, the Force is an unknown.
All right. Fair enough. I just wanted to clear that up. He turns to Nasara. Did you have anything that you needed to bring up?
I might as well add that I told everyone about Merrick because of the nature of
I was curious about that.
The way that the boys defended, and I also told them that you had found them a teacher, but that due to the sensitive nature of the situation, that the teacher wanted to remain anonymous. So I apologize again, Drade, for keeping that secret. It was out of fear for my son, and I hope it hasn't caused too much of a rift among the crew.
Perfectly understandable. I talked to Ashi as well, and it's difficult, especially for Jedi, because sometimes, as you may have seen with Nestos, especially, our feelings, if strong enough, can manifest as an effect through the Force. So we need to be careful about how we feel, who we feel what towards, and what have you. The order was
is
very
this the
strict.
attachment speech?
Effectively, exactly. So she, of course, as you saw, grew very attached, and I managed to talk to her about that. She's going to work on it. But, oh, that reminds me, do we know when this teacher will be able to take on the boys for training?
It already has begun.
Ah,
It's
right.
been done in private for obvious reasons.
I see.
The
Okay.
the inquisitors of the empire have been stepping up their interactivity, let's say, with the population of the universe.
Jerome, um, Ashi would have passed off the lightsaber that they took from the ex Jedi for Nestos to learn.
Sure.
So she would request that that be given to their new master. I don't know if Drade would pass that on to, um, or yeah,
You probably would
or
have given it to Drade then to give over.
yeah, she would have given it to
Sure.
Drade to,
Okay.
because she can't give it to the master because she doesn't know who it is,
Okay.
and she's not going to give it to the boys.
Right. So then, with that, Drade's going to be like, so then if he, I take it, then he's nearby. Will there be at any point a need for them to leave Pelagon for an extended period, or will they be nearby for a while?
There may be. I would imagine keeping them semi-mobile at this point may be advantageous, if for no other reason than to continue their training in private and keep them out of prying eyes.
All right. With regard to that, as I mentioned earlier, we felled one of the Massetti Jedi and actually took his saber. So, if there's some way that we can pass that on to the master who's training the boys so that perhaps Nestos could inherit it, it's not as if these things are easy to acquire or make. So,
Correct. I will be happy to make sure that the master passes that down. The Jedi. Did you happen to recognize him? Was there any familiar markings on him? Something to identify this individual by?
I actually remembered who he was. I knew him from the Jedi Temple, Vekis Mar. Does the name sound familiar?
You're certain it was Mar, the surname?
He was right there in front of me. He's the one who struck me down on the planet here, burned into my brain. I'm sure it's him.
He says, I am familiar with the last name. There was a rather famous former Jedi who went by the last name of Mar, Visas Mar, way back into the Old Republic. She was allied with a Force user by the name of Mitra Surik at one point.
Interesting.
She has, from my understanding, tentative ties or linkbacks to a very powerful Force user by the name of Revan.
And Jerome, would either of those new names.
I'll give
be
you a roll.
obvious to me.
I mean, they're pretty obscure.
Right.
Not to fans of Star Wars, but
Yeah.
the most Star Wars characters they would be.
Right. Would that be cultures or something else?
Get back to what we got here for skills. I mean, I'm thinking maybe, but let me take a look at what we have overall.
Okay.
If anything, it would be more historic. But I don't think that was something that this game system took into account.
Right.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Let's go with cultures.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. And we're using that new die roller. Hold on a second. Do-do-do. Total of 8.
So you obviously don't recognize Visas Mar. Why don't you roll again for Revan?
Okay. $20.
Which makes sense. Revan is somebody who was probably touched on at some point in the historical records back at the temple.
Revan, I've heard of him. He turned out to be an extremely prominent figure in the Force and during a galactic war many, many years ago. Interesting.
He fell, came back, and then fell again, and then came back, or something along those lines. But yes, he was a very prominent individual back then, actually inspiring a cult for an extended period of time.
Well, be that as it may, that's who I recognized him as. I'm not sure what that's going to mean for us in the future, but if they have more like him, then Ashi and I will need to be on top of our game.
I would, going forward, since we know House Massetti is on your trail for some, for all intents and purposes, assume that they may have some sort of informal tie with the Inquisitors, since they seem to be fairly certain that there are Force users in your group. They may not know who just yet, but as we did indicate, there was at least one, because they managed to get a hit off of the blood pallets.
Right.
And midichlorian count. So they may be attempting to tap that link for additional resources. Though one benefit that we have in this particular case is House Massetti overall is a proud house. And while they tend to lean into imperial sway, it's because the empire is the strongest.
That would make sense. They're going to side with whoever seems to be the winner or definitely in control.
Right. But they have their own agenda as well, which means they're going to be doing things that the Empire don't necessarily approve of. So they're not going to be open to direct scrutiny either.
We have been talking amongst ourselves, and because this is the second time we've run into this bounty hunter, many of us realize that he's going to continually be a thorn in our sides, especially if he can tap Massetti resources like he can. One of the next things that we would need to do, I think, if at all possible, is find a way to go after him, because he seems to be one of the main individuals after us.
I concur. I don't know how much Nasara has explained to you, but my aunt recently took actions to ensure that the nobles of Onderon butted out of our business. And it would seem that Carson Ardre may have taken exception to having that contract canceled.
Which would
I didn't go into the details of the execution of her plan, but we haven't followed up to see how things progressed on planet, so maybe that's worth looking into too.
I'm going to put out a message and enlist additional help, at least for tracking. And then once we can confirm his whereabouts, then perhaps you would like to put on your best dressed attire to attend a dance in his name.
have to go shoe shopping soon, sounds like.
Give me a day or two to sort some of those details out, and we'll see what we can do about pinning his ears back.
Excellent. We'd all appreciate it. Let's see. Anything else? Well, beyond that, the crew is also wondering about payment.
You haven't. It's like that's it's never been an issue. That obviously the payment will be received. I'll add the escalators for the returning of the rebel information, which I'm sure that they will be more than happy to receive, but also putting a face to the problem that occurred on Lemieux. I'm sure that there are other operatives within the Rebel Alliance that would like to probably lend a hand, or at least keep their eyes open for additional problems that might be on the horizon. So,
Right. Excellent.
So while we're grounded, is there anything that you would like for us to do?
not in particular. I would imagine utilize this time to your fullest. Maybe train, restock equipment, equip, deal with whatever personal issues that you might have, or just relax, whatever it is that you feel that's necessary.
Excellent. Well, Lord Toronar, thank you for your time, and we'll await your counsel and message when you get new information.
Well, then have a good, he kind of looks around again, morning, and get some rest. I'm sure you're all tired of being bottled up on the ship for days.
Looking forward to some real food again.
Exactly. Excellent. May the force be with you. Gets up and heads out with Nasara.
Okay.
Like to report to the crew?
Yeah, where do you think we should meet up this time? I chose last time. How about you choose?
Somewhere with breakfast. I wonder if the house is still serving. Maybe we could. Well, or is there like a restaurant? No, probably somewhere a little more private. Yeah, do you think, Jerome, do you think it would be appropriate to invite the crew to the house dining room?
That's entirely up to you. You have that authority.
I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
And it's the appropriate time frame. I mean, they're gonna be serving breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, she had just left from there. It's funny.
Nice. Okay. So then as Nasara's getting that taken care of and we're headed there, Drade will get on comms and invite the crew to join us for breakfast and debrief.
We can see your lips moving, but we can't hear you, Mike.
It's a fancy breakfast.
Yes.
It's like a character breakfast at Disney World.
But less expensive.
If by free you mean less expensive, then yes.
Right.
So it's up to you if you guys all want to show up. They're asking everybody to meet at the estate for a palatial breakfast.
Well, let's do it.
I did say earlier that I was searching for like any signs that any additional crew members would be popping up on like wanted posters or whatnot.
So by crew members, you mean like this crew?
Yeah, like
Okay.
if anyone else would be showing up on like wanted posters or
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah, you don't see anything as of this point.
Okay. So yeah, I'll heading up, going to the dining room.
Okay, so if everybody is going there, then it's a long table that seats 10 people total, or I should say 12, one at each end, and then 5 in the middle on either side. And there is currently like a nice silver platter that's set out that has like some fruit that people can just pick from as you need. As you sit down, servants come out and dole out, plates and silverware for you to eat. And they currently have the equivalent of ham, hash, and eggs.
Oh, forgot. So as we left Tornar's place, did he dole out like payment for the recent mission,
Mhm.
or okay? Then let's see, how much would that be? Because the escalators are like percentage increases of
Correct.
whatever it
Yeah. So
normally is.
he paid out a lump sum of 20,000.
Okay.
That's a good bit.
So you guys would see that Ashi doesn't take anything to eat.
Montan's going to show up with like several data pads.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, you'll take advantage and have some breakfast here, our treat. Let me go ahead and first pass out the payment. And let's see, since it's 20,000, and we divide that by 6. So let's see, everyone's going to be getting 3,333 credits.
Say that one more time.
3,333 credits.
Okay, 3333. Okay.
Yeah. And let's see here. Okay, cool.
That will help.
And he's like, well done. Beyond that, we're all going to be grounded here for a few days. So take time to rest, heal if need be, train. I know we've got some shopping to do to re-equip, make sure that we're prepared for anything we go up against. Beyond that, apparently Tornar is aware of some things, and he's going to be looking into getting some help to find this Carson Ardre, so that we can actually work on hemming him in, perhaps putting a stop to him.
Good. While y'all were, of course, speaking with Tornar, I took the liberty and searched what I could to make sure anyone else from the crew didn't pop up on any bounties. Same as normal. looks just to be possibly me and Nasara.
Okay.
No, Nasara doesn't have one.
Oh. Oh, right. Forgot. We deleted that. I forgot about that.
All right. Yeah, the only other thing we were able to verify is clearly he's in with Massetti, and it doesn't seem like they have any type of direct connection to Andron at the moment. So,
Question: who the hell is Andron?
the planet that Nasara is from.
Ah. So it turned from this Carson guy trying to hunt down Nasara for Andron to possibly him cutting the contract just focus us with Massetti.
Well, from what we're gathering so far, it seems more that the contract that the leadership of Andron put out against Nasara and or Merrick, that was dealt with by the Baroness, as Nasara mentioned earlier. So it may be that House Massetti themselves, through Carson Ardre, because he seems to be in league with them, just started heading towards us directly, possibly knowing that Nasara was a part of us. Again, they knew that at least one of us was a Force user. Unlikely they knew that we had two, hence why we managed to deal with him. But yeah, oh, and their Force user. That seems to be something that House Massetti actually does dip into. If any Jedi have fallen away from the path, House Massetti has the tendency to grab them up and use them as their own assets.
Dorn just puts a hand on his face and is obviously a bit concerned. Great, last thing we need is Inquisitors. If Massetti gets lucky with that.
I mean, they know who you are now, right?
What? Last thing we need is an Imperial Inquisitor coming.
Because this Carson guy saw the lightsabers come out and got away.
Yeah, he saw the. Now he's going to update Massetti now that there's two. They
True.
probably only knew that there was one because of the fact that Carson detonated a thermal in the middle of a frickin' marketplace, knocking Dre down.
So my point is that now Massetti knows who the Force users are, probably.
Yeah.
True.
Wasn't there a third that could have been reported? Don't forget that.
I believe he's dead at this point.
Well, no, the third meaning Nestos.
Oh.
But that's unlikely because he didn't actually witness what happened there. There were only the two Massetti assassins that the boys actually managed to fend off and defeat. So I'm not sure how much information they have there.
We use comms. They use comms.
True. Granted.
True.
But would you be able to use comms while being fried with a lightning bolt?
In a helmet package, yes.
I mean, that kid is quick with the Sparkies. He
Uh,
cried me when we first met.
yeah, that did slip my mind a bit that the two did prevent the Massetti assassins from sneaking onto the ship.
Be that as it may, though, I get your concern, which is yet another reason why we are not going to be bringing the boys with us on any future missions, and I will be looking through the ship and including that container compartment that we have to make sure that they don't stow away again.
Yeah. How they managed to get in there in the first place.
They work well together. They amplify
In a
each other's
manner of speaking,
capabilities.
this
Well,
is true.
yeah.
For good or ill.
Oh, speaking of which, you think it's possible that maybe we get Ghost to not interact with them as much? Is that possible?
Wait, who's Ghost?
Your droid who thinks we're all meatbags?
Oh, that droid.
The
Ghost,
psycho
huh?
droid.
I forgot what it was that I called him.
G.
G. Oh,
Yeah, G.
right. Well, I mean, I do disapprove of some of the things he's been teaching them, but there's only so much I can do when I'm not here. I'll see what I can do.
I appreciate it because again, the boys are clearly going to be impressionable. Nestos even more so. He seems to be taking Merrick's lead. So he seems to have inherited
I
that
apologize for
ability.
that.
Beyond that, though, anything we can do to keep them safe and on the level while they're here, getting whatever training they can. And I think that does need to include just having better, more supportive surroundings. And Ghost is not exactly on that list.
Yeah.
He is a colorful figure.
Very much so. Hey, Montana, I saw you came in with some data pads. What are those about?
Oh, shopping. I stopped by some stores, and they'll give you one of their data pads to look at their catalog while you're. So that's what these are. I'm trying to catch up to you guys, and looking at upgrades.
If you weren't so against blasters, I would have loaned you my E11.
I have a blaster, but I'm just not good with it. So, I I've been working trying to cement some of the stuff the scrap bee showed me while we were talking to them, and they say there's things you can be close in, and so I've been working on those. And I don't know what a horseshoe is, but the other thing I can do that.
Okay.
Okay then.
But yeah, I don't usually shop in these places, so I'm looking at my options.
We can go take a look at that as well. I need to get a new blast vest. Having a lightsaber go through the old one didn't do it any favors. So.
I can probably buff out the thermal detonators from my armor, but other than that, I'm probably going to see if I can check.
You have thermal detonators? Those things are pricey.
I sustained thermal detonator blasts.
Oh yeah, so did I. It took me days to get it out of my fur. Still smell like smoke.
Smartass.
What? It took me out.
Yeah, I know. I was more buffing out what might be left on my armor. But I was going to say before that I'm going to see if I can check into a hut areas, see if Mercedes trying to pull something with the huts.
Okay. You think they would? I mean, I suppose it would make sense, but do you think they'd actually reach out to the huts?
If it benefits the huts and they can get a good deal out of it, I mean, who knows? Huts are very business-like and opportunistic. I lived on Tatooine. It's just one thing of one rule when you live in hut space: you do not want to piss off a hut.
Of course.
we're nowhere near hut space, and Massetti is likely currying favor with the Empire. Why would they bring in gangsters?
For areas that the Empire wouldn't want to touch, or possibly they don't want linked back to them. So huts wouldn't be a bad choice.
It does seem to be that we'd be out of their way, but I get what you're saying. It's not like they can't travel a long distance and outside of space
Yeah.
if they hire their own bounty hunters or what have you. But
Yeah, huts typically have their own bounty hunters and such. So I'll probably see if I can check in any hut areas via computer to see if they posted anything for us in there. Try to use the huts to basically stick them on us.
when you're looking, do be careful. Don't make it known if you plan on asking questions of anybody. If you're just taking a look through the HoloNet or something, again, take precautions if you could.
Yeah, I'll take as much precautions as possible.
Excellent.
So, Jairus, what do you like to do in your downtime on planet?
Well, it's been some time since I've had downtime, so to speak. But I do like to sail.
Sail. Oh, that makes sense. Being on a water planet like this. Any thoughts on how you're going to spend the next little while?
Convalescing in bed.
That would make sense. Of course. How are you feeling? Somewhat improved, I hope.
I'm no longer dead. That's an improvement.
It is indeed.
Right then.
Well, we'll have to see how we can help entertain you during your convalescence.
Drade takes an awkward bite of sausage. Well, great conversation here. Ashi, you haven't eaten anything. Are you all right? You muted.
I am fine.
Okay. You were did you manage to meet up with Nestos? Is he doing okay?
I returned him, yes.
Okay. Excellent. I made sure that that the lightsaber is passed on to Lord Taranar so that their teacher will be able to have access to that when the time is right. So at least that's taken care of.
It won't go to waste.
Right. Right. Well, unless anyone else has anything else they wanted to bring up, we can just enjoy our breakfast and then go do what we needed to do for the next few days until we all get called in.
You guys want to come with me to this gun place?
Yes. Let's
Sure.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Says the Jedi.
Yeah.
It will make my lightsaber go pew pew.
Ashi will get up quietly and depart.
And not go to the gun store?
Nope.
Anyways, I'll get to work.
Right. All right, everybody. Well, enjoy. We're going to do some shopping. Let us know if got questions or have anything you want to talk about.
All right. Dorn just gets up and starts to head out.
Out of character, I feel like this is about to become our version of Sex in the City, like retail therapy. We're going shopping.
For guns and grenades.
Yeah.
Get matching sets.
Okay.
For the Matrix. I need guns. Lots of
Yep.
guns.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So, you guys are going shopping. You've got the. Oh, pardon. You've already got the list, then I take it.
Yeah. I did the math before.
Okay. So, if anything is restricted that you're trying to get, you can actually get them through, basically through Lord Torinar and his contacts. But it's going to be ×3 the price.
Okay, so remind me how the availability works. Because
I think I posted in the chat, but let me double check. Because I had a feeling that was going to eventually come back up.
yeah, I did not, of course, write down the availability stats. So now I'm looking at them in the book.
Yeah, here we go. I did put it in the chat back in December of 2024.
Oh, I'm
So if
not
the item
throwing
if the
it in.
item availability is a 1, it's readily available. 2, it's normally available. 3 is a specialized item. 4 is a rare item. Item restriction. If it's an F, you can get it for a fee. Usually it means like there's a permit required or something. If it's an R, it's restricted. If it's an X, it's illegal. So pretty much anything that's right now that's restricted or X is going to be ×3.
Okay, well, that changes my math a little bit. Because grenade launchers are 2x.
Right.
Yeah, Ashi is going to be going to the market as well. She has got to replace her own armor since everybody's armor pretty much got damaged. And she's going to put in a request through Lord Torinar's sources for her Lothcat.
Okay,
Of course she is.
sure. So those are it's definitely going to be restricted. So it'd be ×3 the price. So we'll say it's going to cost you like 1,000 credits to get a Lothcat, but
Okay.
I mean, it's a Lothcat. It's not like it's,
Right.
a primary source of food. It's just a slightly exotic pet. So,
Yep, she'll pay it.
okay.
Yes.
So,
He
and how much
will-
for her for new armor?
Mike, did you already look that up? Or
I'm in the armor section of
Okay.
at least of Gundarks. What are you looking for? You know,
Let me see. What did I have before?
there's okay. I'm there in both books now. So we
I
got
might
medium.
actually, well, because I had a blast vest. I might actually upgrade. I mean, is there something better than the blast vest?
there's lots of stuff better than blast.
Yeah,
Vest,
there-
but
there
some
is.
of them have penalties to like your decks and whatnot. So just
Right,
keep that in mind.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want a high dex penalty, but I would like something a little bit better than what I have.
Well, so like medium battle armor has +1d to all physical and energy attacks, -1d to all dexterity and perception attribute and skill checks.
I mean, I have the Corellian Hunt suit, which is just -1.
Yeah, a lot of, I mean, so essentially what you're looking at is little things like the blast vest, which have no penalty, then which is light armor, and then you're into medium armor, which is going to give you like a -1d penalty to dex and perception, pretty much across the board. And then there's heavy battle armor, which is -2 to dex and perception checks.
No, I don't want no heavy.
But then within that, there's a bunch of variations. There's like Royal Guard armor, armored flight suit, combat
Yeah.
jump.
Well,
She
Royal
wa-
Guard you
I'm-
can't get, but
no,
it's in there for a
but
reason.
I think she would stick with the light armor.
There's a combat jumpsuit, which doesn't have penalties. It's 1d physical plus 2 energy protection.
That
It doesn't say plus 2d, it says plus 2.
Right.
Yeah.
that would
Good
be
points.
better because I only have +1 for energy for what I have. So what is it called?
Well, what I'm saying is it doesn't give you a plus 2d, it gives you a plus 2.
Right, because right now,
Yeah.
because the blast vest, I just have a 1d physical +1 energy.
It's a combat jumpsuit, cost of 1,000. Availability 2, so you could.
Yeah, essentially, the combat jumpsuit, that's like the Mandalorians without the rest of their armor on.
Okay, so I'll take that.
And thank you for the raid, Pyro Club, rating us for
Hey.
12.
And then, is there a helmet that's better than a +1 energy?
There's not a lot of, separated helmets.
Yeah, most of them are pretty basic. They're just helmet.
Okay, yeah, because I have a blessed helmet. That's a +1d physical and +1 energy.
There's a CT3 concussion helmet, plus 2 to front and back from physical non-energy attacks, including crash and falling. I'm looking for anything that specifically says helmet. Because a lot of what's in here are like full power suits and stuff. So
Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm good. So
okay.
minus 2,000. Okay. Thank you much.
Okay, as far as my list goes, now I gotta find my stuff again. All right, I am. Where's page 49? As far as armor goes, I want to pick up the camo armor. Which is, it's light armor, but it also, if I turn on the camo field, gives my people looking for me plus 1d to the difficulty of search or perception rolls as long as I'm motionless.
Okay, and what's its item restriction?
Availability 2.
Okay, and it should say have an item restriction too. It should say like 2 and have a letter after it.
It doesn't. This is out of the Gundark's book.
Okay, that's probably why. Let me go get Gundark's real quick because Gundark's was a little
Page
bit older.
49.
Gundark's fantastic technology.
Yeah, personal gear.
Ooh.
Did we lose Brittany?
She's been abducted.
Yes.
She's just not there.
She said she'd
Okay.
be back in a minute.
Okay,
She-
so
she
I'm not
has a-
even
she
seeing
has
her
a
on the
cat.
screen.
Yeah, she has a cat. Her cat probably abducted her.
Okay. I'll be right back because I don't even see her screen.
Oh,
Okay, so what page did you say it was on again?
49.
49.
Bottom right.
43. Go. That's 50. 49. Camo armor. Let's see. Those are variants. Okay. For snap. Okay. Camo suits works on vision. That's separate. Okay. Alrighty. Yep. So it doesn't have it on there. I'm gonna have to say it's restricted, given the fact that it has basically active stealth technology built into it. So it's not like the Empire would want that floating around. So that's gonna end up driving the price up ×3. But otherwise, it is something you can pick up.
Wait, so X's are ×3 and R's are ×3?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. All right, while we're at it, the PDS vests, Gundark's page 56.
Oops. Back up. 46.
56.
Oh. Let's say,
Coromandane PDS ink protective vest, which specifically says in the flavor text that it can go over other forms of body armor.
Is 50, there's 55, there's 56, buddy. Come on, quit that. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay, yeah. That's doable. That's availability 1, so it's common. So
And okay, so that's my armor. Let's see. The micro grenade launcher is a 3F, and the grenade launcher is a 2X.
okay. Well, yeah, so anything with an X is times 3, and you said the other one was what?
It's 3F.
F should be fine. Just look that up. Yeah, it just means fee or permit required. So yeah, you're fine.
And from the same store, I got to go find the grenades.
Keep in mind, anything that's restricted, you had to put in a request through Lord Tornar.
Yeah, I got it.
But anything that didn't, you just picked. You went to a store, pull it off the shelf.
All right, page 356. Wait. Main book, page 356. Oh, there it is. Okay. 1 thermal detonator, 5 frag grenades, 2 stun grenades, and 3 ion grenades. That's what I'm shopping for.
Okay. Well, thermal dets are definitely going to be on X.
They're on X. Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking this up as I'm saying it now to get the restrictions, because
Sure.
Says,
the more stuff of this that's times 3, it's like I'm gonna narrow down my list a little bit.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
because the Empire definitely is not going to be selling thermal detonators to the public.
Right.
Stun grenade 2R. The nice thing is stun grenades are rechargeable.
Oh, there you go. Cool. So keep that in mind.
Rechargeable flashbangs.
Pretty much. Yep. So while you are going through that, then, so this is over the span of like 2 days right now. So
Yeah.
you guys are resting again.
And the whole time he's looking at Drade like, is this good? Is this a good one?
Yeah.
What do you think of the grenade launcher?
Giving thumbs ups and thumbs downs for different
Yeah,
things.
Montan's shopping.
He's picking up things he totally
Ashi's
can't
shopping.
use, like chain
Dorn's
guns, you
checking
know,
the
the
Dorn's
two-handed
checking the
trooper blasters. He's like, what about this? It's like, no, Montan.
Dorn's checking hut areas to make sure Mercedes didn't put anything out there.
Okay,
Oh.
so
Sorry.
I understand what you're trying to do, but Colin, they're not going to post stuff like that openly.
I know.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I know. I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally don't have the money for this.
So, but like I said, this is over the span of like 2 days. If you guys are doing your shopping or relaxing or whatever it is that you're doing to try and pass the time to recover, whatever have you. So the team. So at this point, the team gets called, and Drade and Nasara obviously to come into the office.
Yep. Yeah, come in.
Okay. So everybody shows up. You guys are out waiting. They've got the nice hors d'oeuvres and drinks for those of you who are going to be waiting outside in the office. or as somebody put it, the kitty room. While you're waiting for everything to take place. And so as you come in, of course, Lord Tornar, he's not presented himself like he was rolled out of bed at this point. This is a typical work day. At this point, we're probably saying it's 2 days in, just equivalent to like 1:30 in the afternoon. And as you approach or enter the room, he motions the two of you to sit down at this point so he can give you kind of a heads up as to where we're at. And he says, so I have a little bit of information. I have not been able to locate complete sources for the issues with House Mercetti, which is understandable. They have a top-notch security network that they maintain. It's something that they are actually quite proud of. However, the same does not apply to Carson Ardre, which I think that was what you were looking for.
Yes, exactly.
He says, I have hired a tracker to help you specifically find the individual in question. And then he kind of pauses and he goes, and he looks off to his side and he taps a button and the other door opens up and you see somebody stepping through. 1 second. So she has very pale skin, kind of white. She has a type of hairstyle that's kind of shaved on one side and crops over, but short on the other. Also
Kelly.
white hair.
Oh God.
It's Kelly.
It's Callie.
Hmm.
There you go.
No, I think this time I think I know who it is. Oh God.
And so at that point, Exal turns and looks at her, and I'll post the image in the chat here for you real quick.
Nasara is gonna look surprised but nod at her.
Yeah.
And he says, Ventress, I was not expecting you to enter my home. And she just kind of looks at him with a smarmy smile. And he says, the Lady Nasara, Ventress, Asajj Ventress, Drade, Asajj Ventress. Drade, would you like to give a cultures roll?
Yeah, let me do that.
Oh no.
Colin figured it out.
Ooh, and a wild die.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna figure it out all right. Because I've seen the
24.
old Clone Wars
24.
TV show.
You would absolutely know who this person was. She was the lead assassin for Count Dooku during the Separatist Wars.
Wow. Okay.
She is responsible for having killed several Jedi, as well as many clones in her time.
So if they were like sitting down, you see him like just immediately stand up as she like enters the room, and he's like, "Is there a reason why she's the one you tapped for this, Lord Tornar?"
She is good at her job, and so she just kind of smiles, and she looks and she says, "This is a different look for you, Exal." And so he turns and looks at her and he says, same. Times seem to have changed, haven't they? And so she kind of furrows her brow at that point, like almost as if it was an equal, but probably a little bit more of a poke at her. And so she, turns to, look to the two of you. The reason why she is being brought on, at least in a temporary sense, is because of where your target is at.
Where is he?
Mandalore.
Oh no.
Okay. Of course that. Of course he is.
I'm not entirely sure why, but he is Mandalorian, so it's not like he's unwelcome. Mandalore is a big place, and we're going to need all the help that we can get to locate this individual and extract you without being seen. That's where Ventress comes into play.
Well, forgive my perhaps impertinence, but who's to say that she's actually going to help? No offense, Miss Ventress, but your reputation precedes you.
And she shrugs. She says, "Your Jedi is showing."
I can attest to her skill. She's actually the one that the Baroness employed to work out our deal with Onderon.
He kind of slowly turns a little bit to Nassar after she reveals that. He's like, "You're not going to have to work on that communication thing. The things that you know, it'd be nice if I knew them too. Just to let you know."
I mean, to be fair, we had never met before. It seems that you are familiar with her work.
Yes. Very.
Perhaps we'll have to speak on that too.
He says, however, given all of this, given all your concerns, she and I have worked in agreement. And he turns and gives her a stern look and says she is not going to receive the information she's seeking to obtain if she doesn't abide by the very strict rules that I have set down.
Very well. I'll trust your judgment. Well, so if this Carson is on Mandalore, how do we approach this exactly?
Well, getting on and off planet, since it has commercial starports, isn't necessarily going to be a problem. And from what I can tell, it's not as if Carson Ardre is tied into the local government in any way. He is your standard mercenary, like many of them are. The concern is, one, you're going to need to find a way to locate where he is at, and then scout the area successfully and determine if you have the numerical advantage or whatever it is that you're looking for to bring the issue to a satisfactory conclusion and then leave. She comes into play to assist in sussing out some of the hard-headed options.
So basically making sure no dumb mistakes are made. Got it. Oh wait. Sorry.
You're actually not in the room.
Yeah, I just caught that myself.
Okay.
Well, by hard-headed options, what do you mean exactly?
He was about ready to speak. So she just says, "I'm going to make the people talk who need to talk." I understand that there are delicacies that you can't necessarily go through, but I can.
Ah, I see. Forceful interrogation and what have you. All right, then. Well, When can we get started? Do we have a at least general locale of him on Mandalore, or are we going to have to start from scratch when we land on planet?
You're going to have to start from scratch. It is going to take some footwork to locate this individual. And then he turns and looks at Ventress and he says, however, I do have other assets there who are going to assist with that. So hopefully they will have dug up a little bit of information on where this individual is at.
All right. Well, can we leave right away, or do we need to wait for anything?
The job is in your hands, although she is on a clock, so you may want to go as soon as possible.
Right. Well then, Ventress, Massage, what do you prefer exactly?
She says, Ventress is fine.
Ventress, I suppose we should get you introduced to the crew. We can get on our way as soon as possible.
And she says,
Interesting.
oh, no. I will meet you there.
Oh, very well. All right, then, as you say, we'll meet you there. We'll be taking off right after we leave this brief. Then he turns to Nasara. Dan, anything to add or ask?
Nope. Should be interesting.
Quite.
So, are we going to see her come out with Drade and Nasara?
When the door opens, I'm sure you'll see her.
Can I roll to see if I recognize her?
Sure.
Excellent. Well,
Can I at least
if-
roll alien species since, well, Night Sister?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not necessarily Night Sister, but she's definitely I think they called her, I think she's a Zabrak.
I think
Oh, just
Dathomiri.
Dathomiri.
Dathomiri, there we go.
Right.
I forgot because so we're doing the
New one.
right, but it's do we just put 3 plus whatever?
I got 10.
I forgot what we're supposed to put. What do we put for our plus?
Plus.
What do you mean plus?
What do you mean plus?
What am I putting in after rolls?
Oh, whatever. How many
You type in the
die
type
you
of thing, like if it's 3d6 or
Okay.
whatever, you type in
Okay,
what your thing is.
thank you.
use. I got 10.
9.
Okay.
I'm not even
Unfortunately,
trying. Montan doesn't know who this person is.
no. Owen and Ashi, unfortunately, strike out.
Well then, if that was all, Lord Toronar, thank you, and again, of course, may the Force be with you.
May it serve you well.
Stands up, walks out with Nasara and Ventress into the waiting area.
Okay.
Walks up and gathers the crew still in that area. Says, everybody, we're going to have a VIP who will be joining us on mission, not on the ship, but we'll meet her where we're going. So first, I'll introduce you to Asajj Ventress. She has special skills that have allowed her to help track the plant to track Carson to the planet we're going to, Mandalore. And when we get on planet, she'll be helping to suss out information from individuals to find his exact location. Then we'll be able to build a plan as far as how to deal with him directly. Ventress is our crew. You already know Nasara, of course. We have Montan, Ashi, Dorn, and Jarrus.
Madam?
So she just nods to all of you there, and then she looks to Dorn and she says, "You're that little man that has a bounty on his head from the Empire."
What?
I'm sorry. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Of course you don't. Well, let's not let's make haste and not waste time. Rather be done with this as soon as possible, if it's all right with you.
Fine by us. The sooner we get this guy off our back, the better. All right, everybody. We have everything
Okay.
that we need. Let's head to the Pelagian Star. Get on our way.
Doran just looks to Drade. Why the hell do we have a bounty hunter with us?
She's different from that. We'll talk more about that on the ship.
Okay, because you have some explaining to do.
Yeah, I know.
So she goes walking off at this point. You guys grab your things and head on off to the shuttle to the shuttle to take you up to the Pelagian Star.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Want to add into my shopping 3 points of knowledge and tactics for T4 to install on the flight, but I can't afford the battle computer yet.
Okay. All right. Well, so then you take flight and take off, and let's just see, where is Mandalore? Just need to know
Always want to
location.
go to Mandalore.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. Well, I kind of wiped out my wallet and I didn't get everything. So I have a Christmas list.
Next thing I know, Mike's going to be quoting Helsing Ultimate Abridged.
There we go.
So how long will
Headquarters,
it take
Mandalore.
for them to get her cat?
Well, you're obviously not going to be there to get it right now.
Oh, I know that.
So it's in the Outer Rim. So we're looking at 3 days again.
All right.
You guys keep going back from the colonies to the Outer Rim constantly.
We like
so.
it there.
Right.
Let's just be careful with the Empire.
Of course.
So 3 days.
So, yeah, I mean, while we're on the ship and we travel there, I talk to everybody about who Asajj Ventress is.
And of course, Ashi is not going to be pleased.
And
Yeah, Marcus,
Doran,
you're freaked out. Like, why is
Yeah,
she
no.
with us?
Doran's going to look more and more concerned, especially when he gets to the assassin part.
Right.
Well, it's
I'm
role
not
play it out. You don't have to just
Yeah.
kind of gloss over it.
So then he's like, I understand. I understand everyone's concern. She is on the dark side of the Force. She was the lead assassin for Count Dooku.
She's a Force user too?
She is, yes.
So what is going to keep her from turning us in after this?
It seems that she has her own needs, her own desires right now. And from what I understand, Lord Toronar has information that she desperately wants. And she's willing to do this for us and for him so that he'll be able to give that to her.
And once she has what she wants, she can turn on us.
Hypothetically,
That makes me wonder what the Baroness worked out with her for our previous operation. I was too afraid to ask.
Yeah, and she knew me from a bounty. So
Well, on the bright side, that means she seems well informed.
do
Which
I
is kind
not?
of what we need for this
Yeah.
mission.
Well informed, yes, but after all this is done, I probably have every reason to be concerned about her.
I don't disagree.
Agents
mean-
that work for the noble houses can't afford to turn on the houses after they're done working for them. Otherwise, they'll have no place left to go in the sector.
It's a fair point. Ultimately, I know it's not a fantastic deal, but to Jarrus's point, and apparently to Lord Tarnar's point as well, she needs to do whatever she's going to do, and I do trust Lord Tarnar's judgment, even though I wouldn't trust Ventress with anything. But if he has that degree of leash in the form of information, so be it.
It's fine.
Oh boy.
But if I suspect her stepping out of line,
Actually, I'm pretty sure if anyone suspects her stepping on a line, a lot of us are going to be jumping on her.
If that somehow happens, nobody is going to fire blasters at her. Just going to put that out there.
You do remember I still have restraints, right?
That's not. Don't think that'll matter, but your heart's in the right place, Dorn. Just she wouldn't be one that we'd want to contend with. She knows what she's doing. She's an expert at what she does. At any rate, let's go ahead and make sure that we're prepared. It's going to be a few days until we actually get there, but rest up, recoup, make sure that we're ready the moment we arrive.
fine. I'm going to go meet with Master Sindar, so I will talk to you guys later.
All right.
All right.
Right.
I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of research on Mandalore.
It's a good idea.
So why don't
Monchan
you-
is arranging places for all of his new grenades.
Okay.
When he comes to the ship, he comes in like full armor with multiple weapons on him.
He looks like the short, furry version of Rambo.
Right.
Nice.
He's even packing a Swiss Army fist. Just a glove
And
that
then he
has all
works on
kinds of
keyboard the
useless
entire time,
utilities.
so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as all of you are in flight in the Blue Saber, you make your way to Mandalore. Colin, did you want to roll for planetary systems?
I don't have it, but I do have knowledge.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Fuck. I got 6.
Okay. So oddly enough, you are one of the few people who have never heard of Mandalore.
I was hoping to.
You're like, is that a
Jeez.
shopping planet?
I was hoping to use the holonet for that, but okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, unfortunately, all you have is the basics. You haven't been able to pull up any anything definitive as of this point. But
Yeah.
Mandalore itself is kind of like a vibrant blue orb, much like Earth. It does have a primary. It does have like a primary city on it, but the planet itself is nothing like Coruscant, which is a gigantic. I think they call it Ecumenopolis, I think, or something like that. Or anyways, basically, the planet has become an entire city. That's not what this is.
Yeah, a type of city that, of course, Owen would be knowledgeable of since he worked in the Imperial fleet.
So Mandalore is covered in rich landscape, largely unspoiled due to its sparse sentient population. The world is blanketed in lush vishak tree forests, dense jungles, sprawling hills, and grassland well suited for farming, inhospitable deserts of white sands, and the numerous rivers, lakes, and seas. And those of you who actually have heard of the place, it is also known as one of the only places people can find Beskar, which is an element that can resist a lightsaber.
I would like to roll to see what I know about the place, please.
Go ahead. Planetary systems.
Yes.
Can I do basic knowledge?
Yep.
$12.
We'll put you in mid-range, I believe.
15.
Okay. Yes, you guys would all know that. You would know that it's known for its Beskar, which is highly guarded. It's not something that that is traded out. It's almost religious for the Mandalorians. Mandalorians historically have been a warlike culture, but now they are mostly just mercenaries that hire themselves out. So it does have a primary. It does have a primary city with a decent-sized starport. They do see some foot traffic. Obviously, they export some food stuff. There are some Mandalorians here that are consistently farmers, so they've got that going for them. They are also known for Mandal Motors, which is one of their only big corporations that they have, which does manufacture some starships, speeders, things like that. So here is whoever's typey needs to mute.
That'd be Shelly.
So let me.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
There were two of us. So I was one of them.
Oh.
So there is a picture of Mandalore on the planet. This is of the big city.
Isn't that where Corbin Dallas lives?
No. Although I'm sure you can find a multipass if you so
Multipass.
if you so desire.
Yeah.
The Dallas multipass. So that's kind of what the main city looks like. That's a picture of the planet from orbit. Mandalore does appear in the later seasons of the Clone Wars. Towards the very end in season 7. And then Mandalore appears again post Devastation in The Mandalorian season 3. Since you guys are wanting to know the factoids.
Okay.
So
that's the only version I've seen is
the blown up version, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you jump into Clone Wars and look at the it's all in season 7. If you go and look at the episodes where Darth Maul and Ahsoka end up clashing, that's all on Mandalore. Because he, at that point in time, had the black saber and he was commanding them around. So, anyways, so that's kind of what you see from planet side. The city itself, very cosmopolitan, for what it is. But beyond that, obviously, lots of open terrain, unfettered wilderness, kind of like what I described. There may be pockets of like little villages or whatnot, but for the most part, there's no other major cities on the planet. So as you come dropping down, obviously you're going to have to pay for the regular ship maintenance and docking fees, which that's going to end up costing like 150 credits. Not a big deal.
Drake will pay that.
Okay. When you drop down, you end up landing on a platform and pulled into a specific docking bay where your ship is secured. The docking bay itself has room for 2 more ships, and there's a total of 3 in there currently, including yours.
Okay.
So is it full, or is there room for 5 ships?
There's 3 ships there currently, and there's room for 2 more. So
2 more. Okay,
total of 5. Give or take, obviously, how big the ship is, but they're all starfighter size.
Okay.
But when you touch down, obviously there's a lot of machinery going around, people servicing droids, making their ways around. There are some other larger docks that are here that have larger ships.
Unbreaded!
Thank you. Very unbreaded. But there are larger ships that have docked here, closer to capital scale size, that are refitting, refurbishing, that sort of thing.
I will note where we parked.
Yeah.
So
Call
when
back
you
to our second game.
what's that?
So it's a callback to our second game.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
So when
yes.
you get out of the dock itself and take it down to, which is basically the I don't want to say the regular part, but it's the commerce section of the starport. Lots of little tents and open shops. There's a couple, or I should say, there's several legitimate buildings built into the starport that have like offices or more of your corporate style storefronts. It's like a mix when you get down here. And if you've seen any degree of Star Wars film or cartoon, then you know what I'm talking about. Basically, it's like getting into a strip mall that's connected to something, but then in the strip mall there are other areas that have like those carts that you would normally find in a mall, or like a tent nearby that you could buy stuff from, which is effectively like a food truck kind of sort of thing. Maybe they sell food, maybe they sell other stuff. But occasionally you see guards walking around looking to keep the peace. What does everybody give me a perception check?
All right.
Actually, in this case, it would be investigate.
Search. Oh,
So still perception. Got it.
But it's under
I
perception.
really should buy that. It's been how many games?
Lots of games. We're in all the games.
P.S. We didn't roll for XP this month, did we?
We did not. We will.
Not yet.
18.
Nice.
16.
15.
I'm getting there.
I'm apparently updating Discord.
Four-
Let's try my
14.
phone.
You want us to roll for you, Brittany, or?
No, I'm getting there.
All right.
I just gotta switch devices. We're doing the Black 21, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
$14 for me.
Okie doke. So pretty much everybody sees this. In the corporate section or the corporate sector, which of course has some nice neon lighting. Nowhere near as opulent as like Nar Shaddaa or certain levels of Coruscant. But it's there. Obviously, they're advertising, some of their bigger businesses, and of course you see Mandel Motors, not too far away, and they're advertising that they've got like some vessels for sale, so on and so forth. And then like 2 buildings over from that, you end up seeing Sovereign Industries.
Sovereign Industries is here. Huh.
Was that one of Tornar's?
Jerome, would I recognize that?
Well, yeah, you recognize the corporate logo.
Okay, yeah. Then yes, it is.
Didn't know Tornar had a voice here.
I mean, it's a
didn't
big
either.
city. I'm sure most major corporations have an office here.
That's a
Fair
good
enough.
point. Well, good to know. All right. So then I take it Ventress was able to land relatively nearby, or
Perhaps you do end up getting a message over your data link.
what does it say?
It ends up saying the Lowdown Cantina.
Sounds right.
All right, folks, we're headed to the Lowdown Cantina. Keep your eyes open.
All right.
Why is it never the happy and perfectly safe cantina? That's what I want to know.
Well,
Because that's just not interesting, Montan.
I could do with a little less interesting in my life.
of course, Doran's
You're in
looking for
the
it.
you're in the wrong career, sir.
Of course, he says that with 2 types of armor on, a blast helmet, a grenade launcher on, or a micro grenade launcher on his back, a blaster pistol at his side, and a robot
He-
following him.
He's just about as equipped as a Mandalorian.
I was going to fit in on Mandalore, so
Right.
Fair enough. I was going to try to say while Doran's looking around, they could probably hear him humming the Mos Eisley Cantina band.
you can tell Montan has overcorrected for his experience.
Yeah.
No more singed fur.
Right, yeah.
All right,
He's
so
now Iron Montan.
you guys go down to the next elevator, leading you down further to the ground floor of this city. And you can tell it had been recently raining here, that there's a little bit of a slickness to the ground, and the buildings, as light kind of shines off of it, gives it kind of a little bit of a gleam. But right off from the starport, you can see that there's like a row of like small shops, mom and pop places, and then like several cantinas nearby. Just like that's alcohol central, kind of, down that way. And you can see in Arabesh, one of them, it just says, the Lowdown Cantina, and it's spelled Lowe, like maybe it was a person, but they did a play on the words that said down.
Right. Okay.
Sort of thing.
All right. That's the place. Here we go, everybody.
All right. Good thing I'm wearing my hunt suit.
Everybody going to the cantina like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna die.
Very much so, because it's Mandalore.
Fair enough. Like, I think I go everywhere like that now.
Okay.
Montan's going to be the poster boy for the armory. I never leave home without it.
Right.
Hey, I didn't bring the lifter droid, the murder bot, with me. I just have
Fair enough.
people.
While trying to remain inconspicuous, he didn't bring a murder lifter droid.
Right.
Okay.
Nobody knows what it is.
So I guess Brittany stepped away as well again.
That seems like yeah.
Yeah, she left a second ago.
Okay, dope. So what I'm going to do then, since we're kind of pushing it on time and I want to be cognizant of Matt being here, we're going to go ahead and call it for tonight right here at 2 hours. We've got RP votes and XP to get taken care of, though. So let's go ahead and get that wrapped up.
Right.
So for starters, we have not only XP to roll up, but we have birthday XP. So
Hey, who's?
Colin,
Hey.
How'd you know what his birthday was?
I have no idea.
It's like you were there.
I know, it's like I had something to do with it.
Hmm.
So, Colin, why don't you go ahead and roll us the why don't you go ahead and roll us the RP and the birthday XP? So go ahead and give us what we're doing, 2d6 plus 1.
+2. Don't they both get a +1?
Yeah,
or-
they do.
Yeah.
So 2d6 plus 2.
Yeah, that works.
8.
Okay.
All righty. That's not too bad.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start at the top. Dale, why don't you give us your RP vote?
Gosh, let's see. I am gonna go with Iron Montan. It's pretty awesome.
Okay. Shelly?
Yes, the furry Rambo.
All righty. Mike?
I'm gonna go with Dale for navigating all the stuff, including the downtime stuff.
Okay, so Dale. Brittany?
I'm going to go with Shelly. Something's going on there. We
Okay.
haven't cracked that nut yet. We'll see.
Matt?
I'm also voting Shelley for her depiction of a different emotional content for the character.
Okay. And Colin?
Shelly.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. So Shelly wins the RP vote. Shelly, you get 2 more additional points to put on your character sheet. On your character sheet where it says character points.
Not force points.
Not force points.
Man, that would be awesome. You
But-
win the RP vote, you get 2 force points.
I know, right? But
Oh, man.
in all fairness, Dale, do you still have 1 force point?
I actually don't.
How many do you have?
I have 0 force points.
Oh,
right now.
you shouldn't have 0 force points. Since we kind of missed it, because I know you guys have used it in heroic sense, go ahead and give yourselves 3 force points.
Nice.
Everybody, or
No, Ashi and Drin.
okay, just
Okay,
I lost
because I
track for a
still have
second.
1.
Woo,
Okay.
so now I have 4.
Yeah.
No, you should have 3.
No, because I had 1. I never used mine.
You should have 3. I'm giving everybody 3 or I'm giving you 2 3, not 3 plus 1, but 3, because you guys should have earned some earlier on, and I neglected to point that out. Unless you just want 1.
Well, okay, so we're supposed to have a total of 3.
A total of 3.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's just that's
Yes,
I
3.
I
That's
couldn't-
not even a number.
I couldn't not laugh at that.
Okay, so next game coming up is Friday, so that's going to be Mythic Savannah. Coming up on the season finale of that particular game. That starts at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Marvel starts again at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this Saturday. And then next week on Wednesday is going to be our next game of Survivor's Dawn, Rift Survivor's Dawn, and that starts at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to find out just how the world blew up and what became of our erstwhile heroes. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for all the raids that we received and folks who lingered longer and hung out with us. You, of course, catch us on the replay, not only on Twitch, but you'll also be able to catch it here with the next couple of days on YouTube as well. So thank you again, and you have a good night, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.
There we go.